In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Damascus is the most ancient inhabited city and the gateway to the world. Its geographical location and land made it a cradle of civilization. It is the capital repository of history and dispersal point of knowledge. Its people and those of other countries, religions and ideologies who lived within its borders set a good example of cooperation and peaceful coexistence for the rest of the world. Caravans went forth from it to spread righteousness, peace, justice, and to encourage civilization and the cultivation of reason. Islam entered and spread over Syria 14 centuries ago. Its universal message called, from its very beginning, for peaceful coexistence with the other, without discrimination or differentiation, aiming at uplifting the ethical, moral, and cultural values of man.
I see the Muslim-Christian coexistence and cooperation in the Middle East in many, many different ways, because I hear stories of ignorance and clashes, but I also hear very moving stories of how people get along and love each other.
In Syria, we Muslims and Christians live in unity and in brotherhood, and as history shows, have always defended one another in the face of difficulties.
Islam came to complete the divine messages that had come before it, calling for virtuous and good morals. We find a common message sent to all mankind in the Holy Quran. We have sent thee revelation as we sent it to Noah and the messengers after him. We sent revelation to Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, and the tribes, to Jesus, Job, Jonah, Aaron, and Solomon, and to David we gave the Psalms. Since the early years of Muhammad's prophethood, the early Muslims in Mecca, who were persecuted by their own tribe, were well received by the Christian Negus of Abyssinia, who Prophet Muhammad called a just king. The journey of Isra, the night journey to Jerusalem, where Jesus preached, is an example of interconnection between Islam and Christianity. After the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had built up the Islamic State, he started to receive delegations. A delegation of Najran priests was received and hosted for a month in his mosque, and they were allowed to worship according to their own Christian prayer rituals.
The Messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, welcomed the Christians of Najran in his mosque, where they stayed for several days. And when the time came for their prayers, they prayed in a mosque of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Some of the companions tried to stop them from performing their prayers in the Prophet's mosque. However, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, forbade the companions from doing so, and he permitted the Christians to perform their prayers within the mosque. So we do not think there is such a great divide between us, such that even in our place of worship, we allow you to perform your prayers.
Islam's message had widely spread until it reached ancient Syria. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second Muslim Khalifa, signed a pact with the clergymen in Jerusalem. It emphasized the freedom of belief that had enabled them to practice their rituals freely and to keep their churches.
There has been many experiences and many attempts of dialogue through many, many decades between Muslims and Christians.
Peaceful coexistence between Muslims, Christians, and Jews in Syria has lasted for hundreds of years in harmony and mutual cooperation.
I am sure, just as I see you, and you see me, that Allah will unite the two worlds, the Christian and Islamic, to serve the message of God and realizing the brotherhood in faith and global peace, God willing.
Oppression, killing, and terrorism is in diametric opposition to the principles of Islam and to civilization itself.